YouTube? Welcome back to Jerry's NBA Talk TV. I'm NBA Jerry, and thank you for watching. I'm going to answer some of the questions I read in the comments, so I'm going to go and look at those questions right now. Let's see what kind of questions we got. Got some good ones, too. Greg T.D. Morrison asks, he says, great vid, do you think the Heat will win a championship with their current squad within 5 years? That's a difficult question, Greg. It's a good question. By the way, check his channel out, Greg T.D. Morrison. He's got some really good content on his channel. Good kid, too. That's a tough one because they're obviously not going to have the same roster because a lot of their players are old and they have a lot of minimum contracts. So with this current roster right now, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, they have three weaknesses in my opinion. The bench, the point guard, and the center. If you don't have those three, I don't care if you're playing on Mars, okay? You're not going to win. So with this current roster, no. But do I think they can win a championship within 5 years and make some changes? Yes, I do. Great question, Greg T.D. Morrison. Next question comes from Royal French Fry 24. And he asks, are the Warriors a playoff team? Also, another good question. Check his channel out too, by the way. Royal French Fry 24, that's a tough one, man. Golden State Warriors are playing good right now. You know, they got two great guards in Stephen Curry and Monte Ellis. David Lee's playing great even though he's hurt. They got an okay bench, and they're a pretty good team. You know, I like their coach right now. But to make the playoffs, you have to be the top 8 in the West, and that's going to be hard. And I had actually Houston making it, and I didn't have New Orleans making it in my preseason rankings. I think New Orleans probably will make it now, and Houston may not. Who knows? But I just don't think Golden State will have enough wins to crack it. Every team in the Western Conference in the playoffs had 50 wins. So Golden State will be a fun team to watch, and they'll be close, but I don't think they'll make it. This question is from Tupac82. I'm going to read the whole statement. He says, Jerry, stick to talking and less singing. Laugh out loud. Just playing with you, my friend. You know, I had to really think about whether I should rank the Suns as a playoff team when I did my predictions. And I decided to leave them out in favor of Houston due to their lack of bigs and an aging Nash. I did the same thing, Jim. He goes on to say, I expected a nice season out of Nash still, but to perform at his current level at his age is unreal. And his team is still winning. If the Suns make the playoffs with this team, does Nash win a third MVP? I'd say so. Jim, that's a great question, man. Steve Nash, he's like wine. He's getting better with age. I think he'll definitely be an MVP candidate, no question about it. If he gets the Suns roster into the playoffs, the only way the Suns will make the playoffs if Steve Nash has to play out of his mind. So he'll definitely be a candidate. But there's a lot of factors that go into that. You know, it depends how all the other top players are playing, like the Kevin Durant's, Dwayne Wade's, LeBron, Kobe, Dwight Howard, all those guys, and Chris Paul too. I actually have Chris Paul as an early MVP candidate. Obviously, it's early. It's only been 3 weeks. But if the New Orleans Hornets make the playoffs, I believe Chris Paul would be the MVP, even if the Phoenix Suns make it as well. But I definitely think Steve Nash should be a candidate. It depends how Chris Paul and all those guys finish off. Steve Nash could well win it. So, great question, Jim. But I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. But if New Orleans goes to the playoffs, I definitely think Chris Paul will do it. And it also depends on how the other guys are playing. So, good question, Jim. This question is from PRDJR73. He makes a lot of comments on my channel. So let's see what question he has today. He goes on to say, this is his question. Jerry, can Spoelstra lead the meat, which means the Heat, to the promised land? What's the odds of Raleigh coming back to the bench this year? And he says, by the way, Chris Bosh is softer than Charmin in the post. A great question, PRDJR73. Shout outs to you. Go check his channel out. I'm sure he's got some great videos up there. Make sure you guys check him out, man. He's always asking me for a shout out. So PRDJR73, check his channel out. I'm sure he's got some outstanding videos up there. To answer your question, can the Heat make it to the promised land? Not this season. No. What are the chances of Pat Riley coaching? I think they're very good. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I like Eric Spoelstra. Don't get me wrong. I think he's an excellent, young, up-and-coming coach. I think he's got a lot of knowledge in the NBA. I think he's got some great experience working as an assistant underneath Pat Riley and under his tutelage, and also learning so much from all the players that he's coached, and also being a video coordinator and all that. I think he's a great up-and-coming young guy. But the bottom line is, folks, he's going against to win a championship now, to compete for a championship. He's going against the likes of Stan Van Gundy, Doc Rivers, Greg Popovich from the Spurs, Phil Jackson, just to name a few. Those are the type of coaches that he's going to have to coach against. And in my opinion, I just do not think he has enough experience deep in the playoffs to beat those kind of teams with that type of coaching. Now, in my opinion, I think that Pat Riley should take over this team. Okay? And I'm going to tell you guys why. Not because Eric Spoelstra is not a good coach, because he is. I still think the Miami Heat will have the best record in the NBA when it's all said and done. But deep in the playoffs, when you're coaching against guys like Doc Rivers, like I said, and all the other coaches I said, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on him. And especially with those egos. LeBron James, a few days ago, after the loss to, I believe it was Utah. No, after the loss to Boston, he was talking about his minutes. He played 44 minutes, and D-Wade played 40. And he basically said, Coach Spoelstra knows we were not supposed to play that many minutes. That may be true, and he could say that about Coach Spoelstra because, Coach Spoelstra doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with these kind of players. He doesn't have the reputation. But if Pat Riley was the coach, LeBron James wouldn't have said that. Bottom line. Pat Riley is arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. Okay? He can coach and compete against Doc Rivers, Phil Jackson, and all the other guys because he's a big-time coach like that. Back in the 80s, when he was winning championships, he was back there coaching the Lakers team before LeBron was even born. Okay? So with this type of talent that they have on the Miami Heat, I definitely think Pat Riley should coach the Miami Heat. And Spoelstra should learn from him how to deal with these type of egos and stuff like that as an assistant. No knock on Eric Spoelstra, but I think he's better off to be an assistant with this particular team. All right, guys. Thanks for all the questions. If I didn't get to yours, send them again on this video, or make comments on the question that I answered, and let me know what you guys think. And also let me know other topics that you guys want me to talk about, okay? Thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you guys soon. And don't forget, if you can believe it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. You guys know I appreciate it. And remember, folks, always, always treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be okay. This is NBA Jerry, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.